All right, let's try our next installment of distance learning. We're going to check out the chapter 11.2. I'm going to go through a Screen-O-Matic PowerPoint here for you, so you get a chance to do that with this one. So pop that up here. We're talking about body image and eating disorders here today, and we already kind of summarized a little bit of it on one of our pre-chapter videos that I put up that you should have been able to see just before Friday's lesson. That was just kind of a preview of it, so we're going to go through it here today. Body image and eating disorders. The big idea for today is just thinking about how body images, if you have a poor body image, how that can lead to some of the different behaviors that are unhealthy, whether it's unhealthy eating habits, whether it's unhealthy exercise habits, which can lead into other lifelong behaviors or disastrous behaviors like anorexia or bulimia or even overeating, binge overeating. So we'll talk about some of those things here as we move on. The media and other influences can affect your body image, but try to accept yourself the way that you are. That's probably one of the biggest things that causes people to take a look at themselves in the mirror and not be happy at what they see, is that every single time you turn on the television, every time you're looking at Instagram or social media, you're seeing pictures of the beautiful people. And in reality, I don't think we really, in our mind, I don't think we're really able to wrap our mind around the fact that a lot of what you see on television, in magazines, and even on social media, what you see isn't exactly what it is. Realize that there's software out there that when somebody takes a picture, how things can be touched up. You even have those kind of filters on certain phone apps like Snapchat. They've been doing that for years, being able to filter. It's so easy for photographers and editors to be able to shave off an extra 20 pounds or to be able to erase facial blemishes. So what you're looking at, what you might think looks like beautiful people, in reality, that picture may not look at all what they look like in real life. So we need to start thinking about those things and try to accept the way that we are and be happy with who we are and the way we look. When you look in the mirror, do you like what you see? If the answer is yes, that means you have a positive body image, okay? And body image is just the way that you see your own body, what your body appears to you in your own mind. Okay? Peers and media images can influence body image, and just like we just talked about 30 seconds ago, what you see in the media is not always realistic. It might look like what looks perfect to you. In reality, that person that you're looking at may not even look that way in real life. So we have to kind of try to see the forest through the trees, so to speak, that what you're seeing might not be real, but it's putting a false sense of body image in your mind of what you should be or what you feel like you should be. Okay. Physical changes during teen years are likely to result from growth spurts, hormonal changes, okay, and those things can affect the way we think and the way we feel about ourselves as well. But think about the growth spurts that we go through. May cause teens to look thin. It may, during certain growth spurts, it may cause our hips to look bigger, or it might literally make our hips bigger as we start to grow, especially in females. The body's preparing itself for adulthood. Okay, hormonal changes may cause teens to gain weight. That comes with certain hormonal changes. Sometimes metabolism speed up, sometimes they slow down. So there's different things that happen that can create weight changes throughout our life, especially during our adolescent years. Okay, fad diets. Fad diets are neither safe nor reliable ways to lose weight. Well, we talked about this earlier on about how having a balanced diet, but also balancing that with physical activity is the best way to get to a healthy weight and to maintain a healthy weight. The problem with fad diets that are out there is you might be able to lose a certain amount of weight, but you may not be able to keep that weight off. As soon as you stop that particular fad diet, pounds tend to come right back on. So people can eat People on fad diets may lose weight temporarily, but usually gain it back as soon as the diet quits or as soon as they quit the diet. Okay, teens who want to lose weight may be tempted to try fad diets that promise quick and easy weight loss, and they may be quick and easy weight loss, but again, just remember that when you do any of these types of fad diets, that as soon as you stop doing that, likely the weight's going to come back on.
Fad diet. Weight loss plans that tend to be popular for only a short time.
Okay, people who follow fad diets may fall into weight cycles. Okay,
Weight cycling, a repeated pattern of losing and regaining body weight.
and that's just going back and forth. It's many of us have this anyways throughout the course of our lives, even yearly, just because of certain things. We're more active during certain times of the year, but our eating habits don't tend to change. So that sometimes happens anyways, where yeah, we may be more active in the summertime because we walk more. We're more active outside. We ride our bikes more. We're at the lake more. We're doing things where we're more physically active, and our eating habits don't change. But in the wintertime, sometimes we get a little bit caught up indoors for a little bit longer. The outdoor activities tend to get a little bit less, and we tend to gain weight. So weight cycling happens anyways. But keep that in mind, that people who follow fad diets may fall into even a wider range of weight cycling. Okay, and these are different types of fad diets that are out there: miracle foods, magic combinations, dieting pills, different types of liquid diets, or even fasting. And when we talk about certain types of fad diets, there's intermittent fasting, there's the ketogenic diet. Keep in mind that the best type of diet to be on is where we can get all of the types of nutrients that we want, all of the types of foods that we want and the body needs, but also keep that going with physical activity. If you're trying to lose weight, but only do it with just exercising, it's not going to work for a long period of time. But or on the flip side, if you're going to try to lose weight, but only do it by eating right and not exercising, that's only going to last for so long. Okay, so balancing physical activity and how we eat and how we manage our diets is going to be the best bet. So recognizing fad diets, again, any diet that does not follow the MyPlate guidelines may deprive your body of the nutrients that it needs. So if you find yourself looking at the MyPlate here and your particular type of diet that you're on is low in any of these two areas, it's not going to be a healthy diet for a long period of time. And that's why they say the ketogenic diet, especially for teenagers, is not a good idea. It's not going to be a good idea because teenagers are growing. They need those carbohydrates in the body, okay? But you don't want to overdo it, okay? My whole point is anything where you are lacking one of these specific areas and getting too much of something else is not going to be very good for especially a growing teenager. So again, reiterating the fact that we need to balance what we eat with how much we exercise. Okay, eating disorders are extreme and dangerous. Eating disorders that require also are behaviors that can require medical attention. Okay, eating disorders are classified as mental illness. Eating disorders are often linked to depression, low self-esteem, or troubled personal relationships. Okay.
Eating disorders, extreme harmful eating behaviors that cause serious illness or even death.
I'm going to just exit here for a second because I want to see how much time we got. Okay, we got plenty of time. We can only go for 15 minutes.
Eating disorders, extreme harmful eating behaviors that cause serious illness or even death.
Social and cultural forces that emphasize physical appearance can play a role in eating disorders. Research also suggests that genetics may be a factor in developing different types of eating disorders. And part of that is sometimes it can be genetic with depression. Sometimes it can be genetic with different anxiety disorders. And sometimes people self-medicate for some of these different disorders by eating or not eating. Okay? People with anorexia nervosa see themselves unrealistically as overweight, even when they're dangerously thin. And sometimes that body image that people see with anorexia nervosa is they see somebody that's overweight when they're really not, and that's obviously a mental disorder.
Anorexia nervosa, an eating disorder in which an irrational fear of weight gain leads people to starve themselves.
And anorexia nervosa typically is the type where somebody just doesn't eat. But there's also exercise anorexia as well, where somebody eats a very small amount but exercises and burns way, way more calories than the body consumes, causing them to over-exercise. Sounds weird to say over-exercise, but there is such thing as exercising too much. That's burning too many calories when you're not eating enough. Okay, so people with anorexia nervosa develop obsessive behaviors related to food, such as avoiding foods and meals, eating only a few kinds of foods in small amounts, weighing or counting calories in everything that they eat, exercising excessively, weighing themselves repeatedly. Okay, possible health consequences of being anorexic: you get brittle bones, drop in body temperature, heart rate can lower, blood pressure issues, reduction in organ size, which can obviously cause problems, heart problems, and sudden cardiac death. Okay. People with bulimia nervosa regularly binge, then purge, and purge meaning to make themselves throw up or take laxatives so that they make the food come out the other end. So again, bulimia nervosa.
Bulimia nervosa, an eating disorder that involves cycles of overeating and purging, or attempts to rid the body of food.
So again, what they try to do is at least get that touch of eating what they want to eat, but they get it in really quick. They get the overly high fatty types of foods, greasy foods, and then they consume large amounts of it and then get rid of it by making themselves throw up or by taking laxatives to try and flush their system. Okay, possible health consequences of that: dehydration, sores, inflamed throat from making themselves throw up, swollen glands, damaged teeth because of the acid of burning the back of their mouth and as they throw up quite often, damage to the stomach and intestines and the kidneys, okay, irregular heart rates, heart failure, and even death. Okay, another type of eating disorder, people with binge eating disorders, they don't purge, they just eat a lot. So instead of the binge and purge that you get with bulimia, it's just the binge part. This is an eating disorder where people will overeat, and they'll do that compulsively, and they tend to do that lots of times to deal with emotional distress.
Binge eating disorder, an eating disorder in which people overeat compulsively.
Okay, consequences of binge eating can include becoming overweight or obese, developing heart problems associated with obesity. Okay, eating disorders are serious illness that require medical help, not only medical help, but counseling as well. Okay, medical help may involve counseling, nutritional guidance, doctor's care, and extreme cases could be hospitalization so that people can get their eating and activity under control, but have that maybe even to the point where they've got people on IVs so they get a certain amount of nutrition pumped into their system. So if you think that you or someone you know may have an eating disorder, talk to a trusted adult such as a parent, a counselor, or even a school nurse. So that was lesson 12.2. And again, I just wanted to make sure that we got a chance to, every so often you get a chance to still hear me talk through some of these things, even though I'm sure it's easy enough just to read through them yourself. But you always get little snippets from me. I can throw in some extra thoughts and comments there as well. I will throw in another reminder to always remember to check the updates on Schoology. One of the updates that you'll notice here over the last couple of days is that I want to make sure everybody knows that we are not going to be doing the Google Meet conferencing or any Zoom conferencing. I feel like that's an area that we talked about this quite a ways back about how teachers are mandated reporters, and sometimes people could be doing certain things or having certain things happen at home that I don't want to see. So we'll keep it at that. I want to make sure that we do everything the way that we should be doing. But that was 11.2, and we will have another one here likely in 11 before we move into chapter 12.